So the Pokemon Company just got a pretty big W in the court of law. This has to do with copyright infringement. Now, I know right off the bat when I say that, you might be thinking, oh, wow, they must have reached a settlement with Palworld, since that has been going on for like over a year now. Well, no. This has nothing to do with Palworld. This has nothing to do with Pocket Pair. Maybe that will come at a later day, maybe not, who knows. No, this actually has to do with two different Chinese companies and one game that they were working on. And more than just working on, this was a game that actually came out in 2015, 10 years ago. Now, this game has a lot of different names, kind of depending on which translation you are using. I've seen Pocket Monster Remake. I've also seen Pouch Monster Remake, as well as Pouch Monster Recap, and even the Pouch Journey. But we can pretty much from here on out refer to it as the Pokemon ripoff. Now, I know those might be some big words, especially like, thinking about Palworld, for example, just because I know that lawsuit is going on. Maybe even if Nintendo would win that lawsuit, you really can't call Palworld just, totally a ripoff. They've got, some of their own ideas at least. So, with this Pocket Monster game, it might be a little ridiculous for me to, just call it a ripoff, right? This Chinese game, this Pocket Monster Remake game, it probably had, something of its own identity, right? It didn't totally rip off of the Pokemon IP. And, if you're saying this, yeah, I think you couldn't be any more right. That's probably a little harsh for me to say. Just look at this screenshot of the game. No, this doesn't look like Pokemon to me. This is its own thing. No, I totally don't even recognize the people that are fighting in that battle there. And look at this screenshot. Come on. They've even got their own character there. I do not recognize that guy on the left. Clearly that person, whoever that is not from the Pokemon IP. And we've even got this screenshot right here from the game. They got a yellow mouse thing and then some old guy on the right. Yeah, this has nothing to do with Pokemon, right? Okay, I kid. I'm joking. Yeah, clearly this is just an absolute copy and paste of Pokemon, no question about it. I will say though, I have talked a bit recently about these cheap fake games. I will say that is kind of its own thing. When you kind of bait people into thinking that, they're buying, oh, this is Five Nights at Freddy's 7, only for them to buy it and then they find out it's just, absolutely nothing. The thing I will say about this game, this Pocket Monsters game, is that, well, I've seen some YouTube videos of it, and I'm not gonna lie, at least they seem to have kind of made it a game in and of itself. It does look like a pretty fully functioning game. I would refer to this almost as like a ROM hack type game, which, be that as it may, the thing is that, well, this company has actually been charging money for this game, hence the very obvious worry from Nintendo and from the Pokemon Company. So before I get into the settlement that has just been revealed today, let me refer to this article from Automaton. This kind of breaks down the game and the lawsuit when it first started. So it said the lawsuit was initially filed back in December of 2021 against multiple companies involved in developing and publishing Pocket Monster Remake, aka the Pocket Journey. Oh, I think that is another name that I can add to the list. Oh, and they even say in our previous report we referred to it as Pocket Monster Reissue. Yep, that's another one. But then it says first released in 2015, this turn-based mobile game featured character and creature designs that quite blatantly copied the Pokemon series, including iconic poster characters like Ash Ketchum and Pikachu. Oh yeah, that guy in that second picture, that was actually Ash Ketchum. Well, maybe I was wrong. So then it also goes on to say that with the offending game having made upwards of $42 million in revenue in a single year, which I want to stop and say I believe this game was out from 2015 to at least about 2021, so at least about 6 years. Maybe I'm wrong, maybe it was taken down earlier than that, but yeah, in just 1 year it made $42 million. So it says, with that in mind, the Pokemon Company originally claimed an estimated $72 million in damages, and they demanded public apologies from the companies involved across all social media platforms. I feel like a public apology in cases like this is not something we always see, but yeah, that'd be kind of interesting. So then that brings us to actually just a few months ago in September. There was actually at that time a pretty big development in this court case. So it says the Shenzhen Intermediate People's Court ruled in favor of the Pokemon Company in September, accusing the defendants of violating the Unfair Competition Prevention Act and ordering them to pay around $15 million. However, two of the companies involved filed an appeal to overturn the ruling. So that is actually where we are today. These two companies, a few months ago, they filed this this appeal. They did not want to pay this money. They didn't want to issue the public apology. But the appeal, it did not work out. So this is actually from 2 days ago from the Pokemon Company. This is actually right on their website. It just got a lot of attention today, but yeah, this was 2 days ago. So they say, in the matter of the lawsuit filed in China by the Pokemon Company, claiming infringement of its intellectual property rights pertaining to the game app Pocket Monster Remake, a mediated settlement has been reached between Pokemon and the Chinese operators of said app. And then it lists the two company names. I'm not going to pronounce them because I'll probably embarrass myself trying to do that. But these are the two companies that did file those appeals back in September of last year. So then it says those two companies have issued the following apology statement on the websites of the Legal Daily and the paper news outlets. These are Chinese news outlets. And they actually did quite literally in this blog post links to the translated versions of these apologies. Yeah, they are really having fun with this, I guess. So this English translated apology, it actually says it's from February 12th. So yeah, this was something that they probably settled, a week or two ago. And now that it has kind of ran its course through the Chinese news outlets, now the Pokemon Company's talking about it. So I did read through this apology because I was kind of curious, what is the next step with Pocket Monsters Remake? Are they going to try to revive it? Is it still for sale actually? And the answer is no. So part of the apology, it says the game has now been completely removed from the market and operations have ceased. At the same time, we have paid a substantial economic price and incurred significant reputational damage. We have deeply reflected on it and learned our lessons. In our future operations, we will place a high priority on intellectual property protection and refrain from infringing upon any related intellectual property rights or interests of the Pokemon video games and their rights holders, and avoid engaging in any related acts of unfair competition. So yes, it is definitely lights out for these Chinese companies who tried to copy off of the Pokemon Company's IP. Yeah, clearly a pretty big W for the Pokemon Company. They did also say in that blog post, going forward, the Pokemon Company will continue to take all necessary steps to protect its intellectual properties, to enable its users worldwide to enjoy all Pokemon contents with complete peace of mind. Yeah, and as I said, I really think this stuff comes down to money. We've seen that even with just bringing it to Nintendo in general, not just the Pokemon Company. We've seen that with things like emulators and ROMs in recent times. We've even had one of Nintendo's big lawyers say that basically, a big thing that goes behind them deciding to pursue legal action against games or companies like this, a big factor of that is, are they making money from this product where they completely steal our IP? So it really is clear that, with projects like this, like I said, that could be summed up just in terms of like a ROM hack. Whether or not Nintendo's lawyers come after you probably just comes down to, are you making money from this project? In this case, the case was yes, they were making over 40 million US dollars from this project in just 1 year. So yes, it has completely been taken down. Now all of that money is going to be paid back to the Pokemon Company, plus possibly a little bit more. I highly doubt this is the last time we are going to see lawsuits like this, because let's face it, the Nintendo IPs are some of the coolest IPs out there. So if it can be proven that those projects are stealing from Nintendo, and if they are making money from these projects, then you can safely assume Nintendo and their legal team will be knocking at their door.